my background is in organisation behaviour and organisation design. So I've dealt with people issues all my life. I started off in HR. My journey in HR, rather than going from policy and procedure, is much more into people development and organisation development. I do a lot with team dynamics, how strengths within a team complement each other, where there's gaps, what does that mean, the whole team personality. I've been doing one-to-one work for quite some time. I've been delivering behavioural type programmes and communication programmes for years. And I knew I wanted, because of the work I'd done, I'd built up a whole raft of material around confidence, inner critic and imposter syndrome. Coaching is a flooded market now. So it's valuable there because it's my way of doing things. It's my own product. I have a specific way of doing things. And I think I do imposter syndrome in a different way to a lot of other professionals out there, because I'm a creative practitioner and I don't just sit and do one-to-one, let's talk about it. All of my stuff, it's very energized. We're writing, we're scribbling, we're drawing, we're doing lots of different things. So I've brought all of the tools that I've had over the years into a series of workshops, one-to-one programs. I'm about to develop it online, so obviously all of the illustrations you've done for me will feature online. I'm a very visual person and I'm very creative in the way that I deliver my program, so I would have had to have something. It wouldn't have been just a chalk and talk type of thing. I like to be different, and I found someone in you that helps me on that creative journey. If I hadn't have found someone who was an illustrator, I probably would have gone down the traditional route of a graphic designer and just said, this is what I'm thinking, can you design me something? A couple of things that's had a massive impact. One is it captures people's imagination, and particularly the pink mini, people will say, what's the pink mini got to do with imposter syndrome? It's a really visual way of looking at your key inner critic, how that manifests itself into an imposter, which is murd obviously, and then how you can slay and invade your imposters using your almost an alter ego. People will say, oh, I'm intrigued by the mini when they see it online. What's that about? Within the workshop, obviously it's explained within the workshop, and actually people then think, yeah, what would my vehicle to invade my imposter look like? So it's a good learning tool. It's quite interesting in that it has helped people explore their own imposter and their imposter slayers when we work with clients to say, so what are the things, what are your strengths, what are the things that bring you courage, how would you define them? And we come up with the words. If they're visual and they want to do a character like I have, they'll develop that for themselves. I'm quite a quirky personality, so it's a pink vehicle with the green seats, all of that sort of thing. But the way you did the mud and driving through, it shows the determination. My vehicle is about confidence, drive, clarity. If you remember all the things that you captured in the illustration, I'm using my Murd and Marcia and my vehicle to illustrate how I use it, but then say you will have your own. And obviously I use all of my stuff quite visually, so they're all on the workbooks. So obviously you drew me as well, so I put it all there. You can see that we've got Murd and Marcia, so I use it in it's used in everything. It embraces, so it's almost become like a logo. It is my image of imposter syndrome. So hopefully when people see the pink mini, when they see Marcia, and particularly when they see Murd, they'll be able to think, oh, that's Beverly's imposter syndrome program, or she's writing, because I put them in the articles as well, so, or she's writing an article about imposter syndrome. Having those characters, it's almost, they are my product, they are my way of supporting people with confidence issues and imposter syndrome. Created them as little characters. Eventually I'm going to get them done professionally, but they're on it just on a pencil at the minute, so they're actually live in my events. I'm going to have it almost like a life-size one to come into the to have in the room with me as just something that is there for amusement and to highlight and for people to remember. They do remember their names and what they stand for, and the whole program's brought to life. I have got another thing that I made myself, and I made a decision not to come to you for it because I wanted it to be so imperfect. And that's Angel Magda. Now, she is very much the inner critic, the saboteur. Angel Magda feeds Murd negatively, but then how she can actually slay them through Marcia. You can't say, look at where I am now, you can't say that to me. So actually she's part of the slaying as well as the imposter. Have them like that. So again, it brings the whole thing to life. And particularly the way I asked you to draw Murd, I can actually demonstrate when your imposter is getting into your head there. And they are very, very striking. It starts a conversation straight away. Oh, what does that stand for? What's that all about? Or even people saying, you've got something up there that says you'd work with imposter syndrome. I can see straight away that that's the imposter because mine would look very similar, and then you start the conversation. They are so versatile. As I say, I'm gonna have life-size ones that will stand at exhibitions and when I'm exhibiting at expos and things like that. So they're all there to attract attention and start conversations. So had I not met you, I possibly it wouldn't have looked, well, it certainly wouldn't look the same because it's your design and it came out of my description. You need illustrations and you need characters, because for me to just do a presentation on that, it's so dry and it becomes quite complex. It's brought me closer to the client. One of the key things that really jumped out was your ability to grasp things. You got our business very, very quickly, which I really liked. I'm quite a light touch. Although I know what I want, I really work best with people who can just run with it. I would describe you as quite perceptive in terms of concepts that are delivered to you, and you quickly grasp those. You go in that extra mile because I love the way, even though I didn't ask you to do it, you animated the mini, which I love. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's created my identity for imposter syndrome. When people see it, they know it's me.